Alright guys, we are here today because I completed some action research for class and I completed that on B-Bots. So if you go to the next slide for me. This is B-Bot. B-Bot is a programmable toy for kindergarten, first grade students. Is mostly what I use them with. And here you can see the buttons. There's pause, clear, forward, backwards, side to side, and go. So the students have to program B-Bot to go to certain places on their mat, and you can use it for assessments for many different things. For this particular activity, my kindergarten students had to draw an animal card and then take their animal to the correct habitat on the mat. So they had to program B-Bot to get there. Like I said, they're programmable robots for K1 students. They can be tied in with any content area. In the past, I have used them for reading and math, and you can really differentiate your mats to match the student's needs. They're great for spatial reasoning and math and computational thinking. So not only are they getting the content skills, but they're getting a lot of other skills as well. Left, right, forwards, backwards, pause, stop, clear, and go. Again, those are the buttons of B-Bot. Alright, so my research questions, I had two, were do B-Bots increase student engagement with kindergartners in STEM Lab? I'm the STEM Lab teacher, you all know that. And do students prefer learning using B-Bots in STEM Lab? So those are the two questions I was most curious about with the B-Bots. They are new to our STEM Lab. I recently purchased them, so I wanted to see where we really stood with them, if they really worked, and if the kids truly liked learning with them. Okay, research via literature. The first one I looked at was using programmable toys at research age. So this research looked at different programmable toys and the benefits of them. They found them beneficial in curriculum, and they compared them to other countries and how they program robots and do these 21st century skills. And I think they found that we seem a little bit more behind and we need to catch up to the other countries, because other countries seem to use more toys like this, where in the United States this is really the only toy that's available to our younger students like this. Alright, the next literature I looked at was making your classroom buzz with B-Bots. So this one was great in case you want to incorporate B-Bots into your classroom. It gave you lots of great ideas and how this other school has incorporated them into their curriculum. So they had ideas of how to tie it in with math and time and art and all sorts of other ideas. It also gave you instructions on how far it goes, so it tells you how to make your own mats. The mats can be kind of expensive, so it's kind of nice to know how to make those mats. And the last literature were B-Bot boxes. This school had used B-Bots, and they felt like they used B-Bots for everything and they were running out of ideas, but the kids loved them. They loved learning with them. And anything they tied in with B-Bot, the kids wanted to learn about. So they ended up having B-Bot boxes. It ended up being kind of expensive for the school, but they found that it paid off in the long run because students could check out a box that had an activity with it, a mat, and a B-Bot. And they could take them home and they would teach their parents about it. And that way they got parent involvement, and the parents really got to know what the kids were doing at school and were more interested in their day-to-day curriculum. And the students were excited and could develop skills such as sequencing, directional, and programming skills at home. So they weren't just getting that at school, they extended that to at home. Next slide. Alright, methods and procedures for this research. I took 2 days out of instruction to do this. The first day, the students did not use B-Bots. They sorted animals into their habitat, and they had pictures. So they would have 4 or 5 big pictures of different habitats, such as the Arctic, the desert, the forest, ocean, etc. And they would have to just sort their cards to put their animals in the right habitat. Day 2, we did a very similar activity, but we did B-Bots instead of the cards. So what they did, they would draw a card, and we kind of made a game out of it. And then they had to take B-Bot to that animal's home to take the animal home. And I even had some kids say that this was their newest favorite game. I don't think that they always realize that they're learning and doing work, and it's an assessment tool for me, so I can see if they know where that animal lives. So that was my methods and procedures. All right, both days students were grouped into 4 students sitting at a table. I videotaped each activity, and every 30 seconds I stopped the video to check and see how many students were on task versus off task. At the end of day 2, I surveyed the students to see which activity they preferred. The materials that we used were day 1, pictures of animals and habitats. Day 2, each table needed 1 bebot, 1 mat, and 1 set of animal cards. The participants in this class is a kindergarten class at Southern Elementary in Lexington, Kentucky. There are 21 total students, and that includes 8 boys and 13 girls. 4 Hispanic students, 1 Asian, 5 African American students, 10 Caucasian, and 1 listed as other. 3 students receive ESL services. 2 students receive speech and language services. There's also a kindergarten paraeducator in the class with us at all times, so it's nice to have an extra set of adult hands who can help out with the robot and activities when needed. I found that overall students were more on task and engaged using bebots than they were with the sorting activity on day 1. It was interesting to watch the students with the bebots when they finished their activity, because with day 1 they kind of all finished at different times, and at the end of the activity half the class was off task because they had already cleaned up their activity, and then 1 or 2 tables was still left, still working and finishing up their activity. So there was too much downtime there. Whereas with the bebots, students kept going. If they finished their set of cards, they were excited. They were like, ooh, let's start over, and they resorted their cards out and just kept going until it was time for everyone to clean up and be done. So it started off as most of the kids were on task with both activities, and then at the end of the sorting activity, more kids got off task, whereas with the bebots, the kids were still on task. And this is just a quick graph of my results and findings. So as you can see, the orange line are the number of students who are engaged, and your times are down here every 30 seconds. And that stays pretty high. It's right at 20 to 21 most of the time. Your sorting activity kind of bounces around at first, and then you can see where one table started to finish and it plummets from there. The bebot activity did take more time, but it was worth the extra time because students were still on task and learning about animals and their habitats. At the end, I surveyed all 21 kids to see which activity they preferred, that they thought was more fun, and that they would like to do again. 20 of the 21 students preferred bebot. Only 1 student said they preferred the sorting activity. So approximately 95% of the students preferred using bebot in STEM Lab. So this is just a chart of what I went over. The orange is the students who preferred bebot, and in the red section are the students who did not prefer bebot. Alright, to follow up, I would like to encourage you all to start using bebot, and I can help you with that. I can help you develop lesson plans and help you in the classroom. If it's my planning, I'll even come help teach you all. So, communicate results with colleagues, which I'm doing now. Continue to find new ways to use bebots in my room, as well as encouraging you all to do the same thing in your room. So you can check them out. We can get more bebots, and I really think you could tie them in with even music, Spanish, all of those areas. They're great for vocabulary words, they're great for sight words. Almost any curriculum I have found so far, you can tie it in. It might take some work in the beginning to make your maps, but I promise it's worth your time. In conclusion, I found that bebots did increase student engagement and that students preferred using them in STEM Lab. I was trying to cover areas such as sequential thinking, logical reasoning, spatial reasoning, and programming skills. So not only did I cover the content like I did on both days, but day 2 when I used the VBOTs, they got those spatial reasoning skills and computational thinking skills, as well as the science content that I was trying to cover. And here are my references. Alright, so if you would like to take some time to let me know how I did for this class and for the presentation, how I can help you in your class use VBOTs, I would love to help you. I would love feedback, good or bad, and I know we're kind of in a rush here. So if you would like to email that to me, that would be great. So maybe one positive, one room to grow on would be great. And you all can just email those to me, or tell me in person if you have time. And I'd like to thank you all so much for coming and watching my VBOTs. Thank you.